But my left hand, you know.
But you go the other way, so.
All right.
Joe Connolly, long time since 1977 when you won the Fitzgibbon here, when it was known as UCG. Was it nice to be back here playing around with the young lads there on the green having a puck about?
It's wonderful. It was a wonderful time in our lives. The 1970s in this institution in UCG were magical days, you know. I often thought they should change the name from UCG to UCB as in University College Butlins. You know, it was a holiday camp. It was absolutely, I loved every day coming in here and everything like that, you know. So they were wonderful days. We took the hurling and the football awful seriously at the time, and thankfully we won a Fitzgibbon 40 years ago this year in Maynooth against Maynooth, having beaten UCC in the semi-final. But they were wonderful memories. Joe McDonough, our great hero, it was a sixth Fitzgibbon, you know, as it was for a few others. So it was a great one, tremendously savoured, and still is.
Take me back to that 114 to 112 in Maynooth. I take it were they all priests, for example? I mean, what was happening there?
A lot of them were priests. Diggy Clark, Joe Clark, you know, others maybe were, as they say, over Saggers. They went and maybe didn't finish. Sean Stack, Con Woods, those fellas. But it was a superb Maynooth team, it really was, because we had played them in leagues and in Fitzgibbons up to that. And 114 to 112, very hard earned, you know, tough game. We had beaten UCC fairly well in the semi-final, surprisingly so, because as always we played UCC in the league that year, and it was 3 games to decide the league final. Like, that's how close it was. But we just got a run on them that day in the semi-final. And Donald McNallen has written a great book actually about the Fitzgibbons and Sigersons, and he has recounted that semi-final against UCC where when fighting started, the play stopped for 12 minutes while the referees got treatment for a broken nose. Like, so that was the type of game it was.
I'm sure it was an accidental collision, of course. But what do you remember about getting your hands on the cup, and what did it mean to you to get your hands on the cup at the end of that game?
Well, I think it was my third or fourth Fitzgibbon, and it just Fitzgibbon gets inside you. You know, it's a group that come together at a particular time. We're all young and kind of wild, and we love what we're doing, and we love each other's company. So I remember savouring so much. Like, we came off that pitch in Maynooth that day as a group singing Peggy and Let Your More. You know, Joe obviously started that, like, and that's how we came off. The huge crowd had gone up from Galway for it. Phenomenal night. I remember the hotel in Dublin where we stayed, about 100 fellas came down the stairs in the morning, like, with sleeping bags, you know, just had come up, stayed with us. Fantastic Monday, and we arrived on the Monday night evening back to my mother, God rest her, in Ballybrit, and all the cars got out, no phones, no communication, but you still had a dinner for everybody. You know, it was of a time, but it was a wonderful time, and it's a success, I'll always say. Our great captain Pat Fleury, and another kind of unusual thing about that team was that 3 of us captained our counties to an All Ireland afterwards. Conor Hayes for Galway, myself for Galway, Pat Fleury captained Offaly, Joe McDonough became GA president, and Cyril Farrell became a winning All Ireland manager. So a fair group.
So it contributed to your development, shall we say, into outstanding people.
It contributed greatly. Yeah, I love the aura of Fitzgibbon. I love what it's about. It certainly helped us as hurlers, because we were doing a lot of serious hurling and serious training kind of in the off season, where a lot of fellas would still be, you know, have the boots kind of under the bed kind of thing of its time. And obviously if you're playing against other county lads very early in your career, you're just out of secondary school and you're playing serious hurling. So it was a great baptism, as Sigerson is, like, for what's ahead of you as a county player.